What's up, everyone? V here, and Happy New Year, everybody. We're in the good old 2024. We said goodbye to 2023. Hope you all had a decent 2023. Me personally, it was one of the better years in recent times. Definitely the best of the 20 so far, and we're starting 2024. Hope all of your guys' 2024s are starting off pretty strong. Started off sick from because I went to stay with my family for a week over New Year's, and then I got sick, which is why I haven't posted in a hot minute. And this video, which is, if I don't know if I said or not, but is our first vid of the year, yippee, was originally going to be the top 10 figures of 2023, but then I went downstairs and I saw this guy sitting on the porch, and I have been anxiously anticipating this guy's release for a while. So I got him out, and after 5 minutes, I was like, screw making the top 10 video. This needs to be made because, oh my god, this figure is amazing. But yeah, I'll explain because I'm gonna be real with you. Or before we even start, this of course is the Star Wars The Black Series. The Mandalorian, not Din Djarin, just the Mandalorian, even though we know his name. We've known it for years. The Mandalorian, as he appears in Star Wars, The Book of Boba Fett. I don't think anyone says Star Wars in front of it, but I think it's just, for the series and everything. But yeah, again, this is something I've been anxiously anticipating because the original Black Series Mando isn't that great. It is really weird looking, not really correctly proportioned. The armor is not shaped correctly whatsoever. I'd honestly go as far as to say it was kind of outdated when it was released back in, I think, 2020. And I have been wanting them to make a new Mando for a while, and I was hoping Season 3 of Mando would be it, because I went as far as to get the model kit Mando, and I think I said in that video, go check that out by the way, that if they made a Black Series figure with the quality of Black Series, but the look of this guy, it'd be the perfect Mando figure. And here we are. When this got announced, I instantly placed a pre-order. I hardly do pre-orders. I just don't care for them. But I put it for this guy because I needed it, and then I forgot. I thought it was coming out in March, but then I noticed that I was lacking $30 in the bank account, and then I saw that it was shipping, and I was like, the day I got this, when I woke up, I checked the tracking, and it said it was like halfway, so I was like, oh, probably got a couple more days. And then like an hour later, I look outside, and he's there, and my god, this guy's amazing. And quickly before we get into it, I'll talk about Mando, like I always do. I'm gonna be brief. Mando Season 1, I enjoyed it. There were some stinkers, but overall, really solid season. Season 2, I think, is some of the best Star Wars there is. It's up there in my favorite stuff. Rogue One, Revenge of the Sith, Ahsoka. It was the best Disney Star Wars media, in my opinion, until Ahsoka dropped. And Season 3 was a little bit of a letdown. It could have been much better. I feel like it needed a couple more episodes and maybe rework the plot a bit. But I didn't hate it. It was still a fun ride. It could have been better. It could have been better. I'll be real. And the Book of Boba Fett, same way. I think the first half, the flashbacks, kind of dragged a bit. They were cool, but they overstayed their welcome. And while the second plot with the spice and stuff could have been better, or well, I forget the alien race is called, but those guys could have been better, but it was still just some dumb fun, and I did really enjoy it. So yeah, it's my thoughts on Mando. And the day I got this guy, they announced the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, which I'm hyped for. It was the first Star Wars movie since Rise of Skywalker, which is crazy, and I'm 100% here for it. I have faith that it's going to be great. Can't wait. And speaking of Mando, this guy's awesome. I think I already said that, and I'll probably say it like 20 more times. But this is great. And also, I noticed not too many people talked about this guy yet, so maybe I'm one of the first. Also, you might have already seen a video from me about this guy, because I already made one, but I felt like it was way too long. It was like 30 minutes, and I was like, it's just because made it the day I got it, and I kind of rambled a lot. I'm gonna try to slim it down for this one. Still might be tad too long, but we're gonna try to keep it shorter than that last one, because I was like, I don't think anyone wants to click on a 30-minute video about Mando when you could click on a 10-minute one. But anyway, haven't seen too many people talk about it. I've seen one YouTube video and one post on Instagram. That's it. So hopefully I'm one of the first, which is rare because usually I get figures like a month after all the big YouTubers have already reviewed it. So yeah, great figure. I'll get into how perfection this is. But before we get into it, of course, the box. This is back to the window packaging. I didn't mind the Black Series windowless. They were probably the best windowless, but it's good to have it back. And I was honestly kind of excited about the box. I'll get into it in a second, but you got Star Wars Book of Boba Fett, The Mandalorian, Gravis Ring World. Actually, a pretty cool planet. Totally not really a ripoff of Halo, but you know, Hasbro 4+. Love the green. Star Wars Black Series. More green Star Wars Black Series. Window up here. Also, green's my favorite color if you want to know why. And I'll get into that in a second because look at that side art. This is another reason I display all my Black Series boxes, and whenever I eventually do a room tour, maybe at like 100 subscribers, I don't know, but I display all my Black Series boxes, and the original Mando box, I hate the artwork. This is not that great. To be fair, it's like in the first wave of this new packaging, but I just don't care for this pick. It's not that great. And it's got the orange, but this has got this nice green. It's got a beautiful shot of Mando with the darksaber. That looks so cool. I love that so much. And on the back, same pick but bigger, then a little bio that reads, after entrusting Luke Skywalker with Grogu's care, the Mandalorian, known to few as Din Djarin, sets off to learn more about the origins of his people. I'm like 90% sure he did most of that with Grogu, but you know, we'll talk about it. So yeah, that's the packaging. Time to bring in Djarin himself. I have a lot to say about this, which is probably why that video was 30 minutes, but again, we're going to try to keep it short. This figure is amazing. But before we get into that, we get into the accessories. And of course, you've noticed the coolest weapon of all time he comes with. His little blade here. I believe this is called like Vibro Blade. I could be completely wrong. Even though this is my second version of this video, I didn't care to look it up because I don't care about this accessory. It's very small, although it's sculpted and painted really well. It's got some nice metallic silver and gunmetal gray, which I'm hyped to say a lot of this figure has, but he can't really hold it well. Like, it doesn't really, it's too small for this hand, and you can only really fudge it in the finger there. It's kind of a trash accessory, and there's nowhere to store it. Maybe there's a way to have him hold it that I don't know. I don't care because I don't care about that accessory. The real accessory we care about right now is the darksaber. You saw him holding it there. Best way for him to hold it is to fudge that part underneath his finger. So that way it holds little bent, but still looks awesome. For what they could do with the darksaber, because, like, I mean, how are you going to do that effect in plastic? But, I mean, it looks alright. Try to get it to focus. There we go. It's just got black painted in there with a white outline. But the handle looks really good. It got some nice sculpt work there. And, of course, you can remove it. It's a bit thin, so I'd be careful, but it still looks cool. It does have a little hook there. I don't believe there's anywhere to... Oh my god. There is somewhere to hook. Right there. You can hook the darksaber on him. Oh, train. I believe we should be good. Love living near train tracks. But yeah, I didn't even know you could do that, so I'm already doing better than the last video. Didn't even notice that. So yeah, that's actually pretty cool. Time to put the blade back in. Oof. That's called a moment of stupidity right there. It literally has an angle of how to line it up, and I sat there for like 10 seconds not knowing how to plug it in. But yeah, looks really cool. And finally, well, not really finally, but weapon-wise, finally, he has his trusty sidearm holstered in right there without the weird hook this time, because the original one had this weird hook thing, which was kind of annoying because you'd have to plug it in and unplug it every time, and a lot of times it just come unplugged. Don't have to deal with it this time. And of course, it looks good. I believe this is a new sculpt. And you know, it's Mando's gun that won't get in focus, but got more of that gunmetal gray, that nice wood sculpt and paint there. And you can just slide it into his hand, and it just looks awesome. Well, the cloth is being a bit annoying. It's one of the few problems I have with this guy. But look at that. That is awesome. That looks so good. And one of my favorite things about this figure is that they sculpted him in a way where, like, any pose you put him in perfectly captures the mannerisms of Mando. Like, look at that. That's Mando. Because one subtle thing about the sculpt, which I love, is that his arms kind of sway out to the side. And if you see some of the Mando posters, his arms kind of do that while he's, like, walking. I love that little attention to detail. It looks so good, and it adds so much to the character. Because then, like, the way he's standing, the arms kind of swayed out like that. Just, oh, that's so cool. I love this figure. And you can holster it in there. And finally, for accessories, he has his jetpack, which is attached to him. Looking at the detail there, looks beautiful. It's the same sculpt as the original jetpack that came with the first one, but it is a brand new jetpack, but it's the same design. But one big thing I want to acknowledge is, look at that beautiful silver. It looks so good, and why I'm acknowledging that is because the previous one wasn't painted at all. It was just bland gunmetal gray plastic, and it looked so bad. Like, the silver on this guy is nowhere near as vibrant as the new one, and even then it looks so bad. Like, why didn't they paint it? And also, you couldn't put the jetpack on him without taking this off, because this was hard plastic and they didn't sculpt it to fit the jetpack. And I know I complain about soft goods at this scale, because 9 times out of 10 they're annoying and hard to, like, sit, and this is still the case. It's kind of annoying to have it sit well, but at least you can have the jetpack with the cloth. And you can, of course, remove the jetpack and just have the cloth hang down normally if you want, if you're so inclined. And it looks really great, sits really well. And it doesn't tab in through the strap this time, it just plug it in there. You might need to push a bit because all of that is painted, so it might be a little bit harder to fudge in there. And just look at them. Just look at them. Every single problem with the original one they fixed. Like, these don't even look like they're made by the same company. Like, just compare the two. Like, every little proportional problem and armor inaccuracy on this guy is perfected on this guy. Getting closer, they nailed the helmet sculpt. That original helmet, bringing it in again, it looked so wacky and weird. It's got a little charm to it, but it's definitely not that accurate at all. And this one is perfect, and it's picked out in this beautiful silver paint, almost bordering on chrome. It just looks gorgeous, and there's a gloss over the visor, and it's just sculpted perfectly. It looks like it's based off the Black Series helmet. And Mando's helmet's weird. There's like a lot of angles where it looks different. I think it's because maybe the different prop helmets are shaped slightly different, so there's a lot of different versions. Although I do think I prefer the model kits slightly more. This is still an amazingly accurate helmet. And it doesn't have this piece jutting out like the original. Oh, it just looks so good. Then the jetpack again. Then his butt plate. Looks like there's some damage there. Don't know who was going for Pedro's booty there, but they nearly succeeded. And then coming to the front, the chest plate is accurately sized. It's not tiny like the original. Oh my god. Although the original strap did have a bit more paint and looked a bit more grungy, which this one's just more generic brown with only his casings painted, even though he doesn't have the rifle, and I believe it got destroyed in Season 2, because I don't think he has it in Season 3, but he still has the ammo. But looks great, and the cloth feeds underneath this, and this, of course, is like a rubbery piece that overlays. It's a rubbery piece which is attached to here, which goes under this, so it does hinder the articulation a bit, but it's alright. Got his belt here, more nice paint, the gun holster, the weird armor flaps, his thermal detonators on the side, picked out in that beautiful paint again. Back to Pedro's butt, got some butt detail. Then on his arms, look at that. The armor, the shoulder armor looks good and sits well and doesn't look trash. Oh my god, this is such an improvement. And this is doing how the new armor does, where it's a ring piece that hangs over the shoulder so that way you can articulate it without it getting in the way, really. It's what they do for the stormtroopers and the clones. Looks great here. You got the mud horn there. Just beautiful sculpt. Then come down to his gauntlets. Just generic gauntlet looking things. Then his stuff down here, and they toned down the colors from the original, which is interesting. Then on this side he got his other gauntlet, which has, of course, his like missile or rocket, not rocket, maybe rocket, I don't know, or flamethrower, the weird what are they called, the whistling birds or something, I forget the name. Oddly enough, it's on the underside, even though like I believe like this one has it on the side. The model kit has it on the side, so it's interesting that they put it on the underside. I've never seen a Mando figure have that, but it's cool nonetheless. Then come down to his legs, and you got the weird mismatched armor. This one's a bit duller, and it's odd. Every single Mando figure I have has this sculpted and shaped completely different. The previous one, the model kit, and this one all have different sculpts, but I believe this is the most accurate because I saw a poster the other day and it looked exactly like that. Oh, stink bug, Jesus. Lord, there's a stink bug like right there on the table. Scared the hell out of me. Back to Mando. Got the nice silver armor plate there. His little knee pad, which is oddly painted in the back end, is of course a separate piece. Then down to his boots, picked out in a nice black with the little casings painted again, and then the weird different straps. His little pouch to carry, I don't know, cocaine, drugs, any spice. I don't know if it's big enough for death sticks. Then his Mando shoes, just generic looking Star Wars shoes. So yeah, this figure is amazing. Pardon the weird freak out from the stink bug. I flung it to God knows where. Oh, I see it. It's way too close for comfort. But anyway, articulation. His articulation's pretty great. It's hindered in a decent amount of areas, but to be fair, have you seen Mando move in the show? He is not the most, like, he's not like Spider-Man. This is perfectly acceptable. You have a dumbbell joint at the head, which looks that far up, that far down, rotates, and bobs. And also, it looks like it has the helmet glued to a head, but it's actually, I believe, just the jawline sculpted, which is stupid, and it kind of sucks because I was planning on hopefully being able to swap a Pedro Pascal head under there. Sadly, you won't be able to do that. They just refused to give us that option. Arms rotate, but not all the way. They kind of get hindered here, which is a little annoying, but honestly, it doesn't bother me too much. Arm moves out that far. Biceps bend that far and rotate. I almost said bicep swivel, and that's not a bicep. The bicep doesn't bend. The elbow bends. I don't know what I'm yapping about. Hands rotate, and this one hinges up and down. This one hinges in and out. I said that the wrong way, but hopefully you can see what I'm trying to do. And yeah, that body's not moving at all. Like, that is completely hindered, but it doesn't bother me too much because, again, what articulation is Mando going to be doing there? Can kick that far forward, can't really kick that far back, even though he's a little flat back there, I'm gonna be honest. He can oddly do the splits really well despite all of this getting in the way. Thigh rotation, that's a thigh, right? Now I'm just confuzzled on all the body parts. Knee joint, sadly this doesn't bend down here, but this one does bend a lot nicer. And rotation, and then up and down at the ankle with a rocker. So, articulation is pretty solid. Pretty much all you really need for a Mando figure, because again, Mando's not like some agile Spider-Man type character. He's all clunky and stuff, so it's perfect for what he is. And for some comparisons... Oh, almost forgot to grab the Transformers comparison. Silly me. Here he is next to an average Marvel Legends and Transformers Voyager class figure. Here he is next to his fellow friend Oscar Isaac and Optimus Prime from Rise of the Beasts, a figure which I will review eventually, even though it's been out for like half a year now. And can we please get these guys in something, whether it be Marvel or Star Wars? I mean, Mando could still be alive in the sequel trilogy. I need Oscar Isaac and Pedro Pascal together in another movie. They have such great chemistry together. Just give it to us already. Why are they holding back? Anyway, and for some more 7-inch scale comparisons, here he is next to the Jazzwares Halo and DC McFarlane, Master Chief from Halo 3, and Black Manta from the Aquaman movie, which I probably won't watch because I haven't even watched The Flash. So, yeah. For more Mando comparisons, here he is next to the Death Watch Trooper, which, when I got this guy, that's when I was really like, we need a new Mando, because he fixed a lot of problems that the previous Mando had, and then they somehow took what this guy had and made it better. Then here he is next to Bo-Katan, which could use a new version of her. I think it's just I got a bad copy, but mine's a little wonky. They look great together, and I love their chemistry. Hopefully she appears in the movie, because they were great together. I loved how, like, loyal he was to her. And I thought they were going to be, like, at each other's necks, because he had the Darksaber. And I do wish it was kind of like that, but I still love their dynamic in the season. Here he is next to Boba Fett from the same show. And just putting these two together, he doesn't deserve to be next to him. He was like $40, and he is a better figure. I want a new Boba now. Also, this one's not really accurate to the show, so a new Boba anyway. And finally, well, not really finally, here he is next to that model kit Mando and the Black Series Mando. And now, buy this guy. He's better than him, sculpt-wise, and he's better than him just sturdy-wise. He's literally the best of both worlds. This figure is just these two combined into the perfect little 6-inch piece of plastic. I don't know about the figure arts because I don't have them, but this guy, in my opinion, is perfect. And of course, here he is next to Grogu, because you can't have Mando without Grogu. And also, here he is next to the greatest Mandalorian figure to ever be created, Lego Mando, from the tiny $15 Mando and Grogu starship. Also, let me know if you want to see a review of that. I've gotten 2 Mandos. I've gotten these 2 this year, and they're both peak, so that's awesome. Great year for Mando stuff so far, even though nothing Mando related is coming out. So, do I recommend this guy? If you haven't heard it enough, 100%. This guy's already like contender for best figure of the year, in my opinion, and I've gotten 3, not really 3, I've gotten 2 figures this year, and he's contender for like number 1. He is great. If he was released, if I got him last year, he'd have 100% be in the top 5. He is just that great. This guy is amazing. It's like, this is the best Black Series figure I own. One of the best, not even just the best Star Wars figure in my collection, one of the best figures I own, period. One of my favorite figures in my collection. Probably my favorite Star Wars figure. I love him so much. He is as close to a 10 out of 10 that I think I could get. This guy is phenomenal. The only issue I really have with him is that the cloth is kind of annoying to pose sometimes. But that is such a little nitpick. This guy is great. I 100% recommend him. He is like 10 out of 10, honestly. Great figure. That's all I got. This is literally the way. And if you don't buy him, then you are very much missing out. That is not the way. I'm talking like Hasbro got a gun to my head right now, but honestly, he's great. This is the definitive Mando figure, at least in my opinion. The only thing that could rival it is the Hot Toys, which I've seen. I got the Hot Toys Moon Knight instead, but that Mando looked great. Anyway, like, subscribe, check out my previous reviews. Still kind of a long video, but it was quicker. And check out my Instagram, MoonKnightXO. You can talk to me there. See all that might get reviewed. And hopefully next video's top 10 figures of the year. We still got a lot of Spidey stuff. I got the SH Figure Arts 2099 coming in the mail. Not mail. I pre-ordered it. Won't come till February, but still. A lot of hype. Love this guy. Hope you have a great day, and hopefully you'll have a great year. Peace. He can't really reach up there, but you know. Peace.